Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Jai. Dandavat pranams to all the devotees.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Jai. I really appreciate for those devotees who attending the class tonight. I'm really sorry that last night suddenly my friend called me that he has arrived. So anyway, he has another problem also. He's a diabetic person.
Oh,
And I have to keep his insulin in my place because where
oh,
he's staying there is no fridge. So
okay.
anyway, yeah, that's why I shifted the class.
That's all.
Okay,
That's all right. I
thank
hope
you.
he's well now. He's settled.
He's okay. Yeah, he came just for the short visit.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah. Okay, let's start with Mangalacharan prayers. Hare Krishna. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadandikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yutaparakamalam Sri Guru Vaishnavam Cha Sri Rupam Sagra Jatam Shahagana Raghunatham Vidam Tam Saji Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Sri Visakanvitamscha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabhantu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kantha Radha Kantha Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priya Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripasindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gauta Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mudam karoti vachalam pangam hayate girim yat kripa tamaham vande Sri Gurundina Taranam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Ishwar. Hare Krishna. So everybody can turn on their videos. So how was the exam? I believe it was pretty easy, right? Not that difficult.
Prabhu, I did not study, so it's okay. I just sat for the exam. I think being regular for the classes was my only shelter, I would say.
Yeah, I mean, like, you don't have to study hard, actually.
Analogies was a little confusing, Prabhu.
Okay. I think for the next exam I will change the format for the analogies. Yeah, I think fill in the blank sometimes may confuse you. And yeah, and actually it doesn't have to be exactly like in the book. But I think in the future I'll just give you the gist and then you explain that analogy in your own words. I think that's better.
That
Yeah.
would be better.
Yeah. Anyway, in this life, sometimes we have to try something out to figure out what is better than for better future execution. Okay, so today we will be discussing chapter 8. We will start chapter 8. Okay, just to review a little bit briefly on chapter 7. Yeah, what we have discussed in chapter 7. Chapter 7 is knowledge of the absolute. Yeah, and in the beginning of chapter 7, how it is described that knowing Krishna in full. Yeah, how to know Krishna in full through hearing. That's why Krishna immediately informed Arjuna, Tatrinu means pay attention. Yeah, Tatrinu, hear attentively. Yeah, and then we discuss also about Krishna being the source of both material and spiritual energies, para and apara prakriti. We have discussed that part. And then Krishna explained how actually the modes of material nature is actually his energy, and it is very difficult to overcome. Therefore, the only way is that just to surrender to Krishna. Yeah. Mam evaye prapadyante maya metam tarantite. And after describing about the three modes of material nature being the energy of the Lord, Krishna explains about the difference between the pious and the impious. Yeah. So there are four types of pious people, and also there are four types of impious people. Who still remember what are those four types of pious people? The Sukriti, Gita Rita Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Artha,
Mm,
Jignasu,
mm,
Artharthi, Jnani.
mm. Okay, yes, very good. Yeah, Artha Jigyasu Artharthi Jnani Cha. Yeah, these are the four types of pious people. And then four types of the Duskriti.
Mudas,
Mm,
Naradama,
mm.
Mayaya Apahrita
Jnana,
Jnana, and Ashuram Jnana Bhave.
Asuram
Ashrita.
Bhava. Asura Bhava
Ashura
Asrita.
Bhava
Yeah.
Ashrita.
Yeah, Asura Bhava means one who is indulged in the asuric, in the demoniac propensity. Yeah. So Krishna explained about these types of people, yeah, Sukriti and Duskriti. And then we discuss also about the demigod worship and then the impersonalism also. Of course, Krishna mentioned uh, Avidi Purvakam. Yeah, that means they have some faith, but they just misplace, yeah, their faith. They just misplace. They have the understanding, yes, there is superior being, and that is called God, but somehow or other they worship the demigods, thinking that the demigods on the same position as the Supreme Lord. Yeah. So they have the sense of surrendering, but it's just misplaced. Okay. And then at the end, we discuss about the bewilderment of the living entity and knowledge about Krishna. That knowledge of Krishna can actually deliver the person from the darkness of the material illusion. Yeah. So that was overall our discussion in chapter 7. Yeah. So now we will start chapter 8. Chapter 8, chapter entitled Attaining the Supreme. How in chapter 7, Krishna emphasized both actually, even in Srila Prabhupada's purport also, emphasizing the importance of hearing. And in this chapter, we will see how Srila Prabhupada emphasized the importance of chanting the holy names. Yeah. So from text 1 to 4, Krishna answers Arjuna's questions. Yeah. The first verse is Arjuna's question about what is karma, what is the demigods. Yeah. All these things Arjuna asks seems to be like, why would Arjuna ask such a question? Yeah, we will discuss that later. And then from text 5 to 9, yeah, remembering Krishna. Krishna explained that one must always think of him along with performing active devotional service. Such practice helps one remember Krishna at the time of death and attain to his nature. Yeah, Anta Kale Chamam Eva. We will find that verse here. And Krishna explains some ways to meditate on him in verse number 9. And then text 10 to 13, Yoga Mishra Bhakti. Yeah, that means that devotional service mixed with the yoga. Okay. Arjuna inquired. This is the questions that Arjuna raised to the Lord. O my Lord, O Supreme Person, what is Brahman? What is the self? What are fruitive activities? What is this material manifestation? And what are the demigods? Please explain this to me. See, these are the questions that Arjuna asks, Sometimes we may think that is it worth it that Arjuna asking such a question? Really, he doesn't know what is demigod. He is the son of demigod. He is the son of Lord Indra. How come he doesn't know what is the demigod? What is material creation? What is fruitive activities or karma? Yeah. So why would he ask these questions? Anybody has some idea?
He's asking for us to know.
Okay, yes. That's the only reason he's asking for us. Even when later we will find in the chapter 11 when he asked Krishna to show his Virat Rupa, that's for the benefit of all of us, especially those who are claiming to be God. Yes. Nowadays, there are so many people claiming to be the incarnation of God. And Prabhupada said that this is the criterion of the personality of Godhead. First of all, he should be able to show his Virat Rupa. Yeah. So yes, Arjuna is asking this question, what is the demigods? Because in the previous chapter, in chapter 7, Lord Krishna explains about the demigod worshippers and the impersonalism also. That's why Arjuna is asking, what is Brahman? What is the self? What is the Atma? Yeah. So basically, he's asking for our benefit. But here's the thing. When he asks this question, he's actually really doesn't know what is it. But his so-called ignorance is different from our ignorance. He's just under the spell of Yoga Maya. Yeah. So everything is already arranged by the energy of the Lord. So all these questions under the spell of Yoga Maya. Otherwise, how would a pure devotee like Arjuna, the close associate of the Lord himself, can be bewildered? So it is impossible. But because of the influence of Yoga Maya, so Krishna wants Arjuna to ask these questions for the benefit of all of us. Yeah. Arjuna has addressed the Supreme Lord as Purushottama. The Supreme Person means Purushottama. Supreme Person, which means that he has putting these questions not simply to a friend, but to the Supreme Person, knowing him to be the supreme authority, able to give definitive answers. This is from Srila Prabhupada's lecture. Everything, Krishna. Arjuna wanted to know from Krishna. Krishna, he has accepted Krishna as the spiritual master. And spiritual master means the authority. Unless you accept somebody as quite fit for becoming your authority, he cannot become a spiritual master. You must be satisfied by the authoritative statement of the spiritual master. You cannot argue. That is the principle of authority. Yeah. So Arjuna surrendered to Krishna. Sisyasteham sadimam tuam prapannam. Please accept me as your disciple. Now kindly instruct me. So Srila Prabhupada emphasizing on the point of surrendering oneself to the instruction of the spiritual master. Tad vijnanatam sa gurum eva bhigachet samit pani srotriyam brahmanistam. If we want to know the knowledge about the absolute truth, Sagurum eva bigachet, we have to approach and surrender to a spiritual master. Of course, a bona fide spiritual master. Yeah. Because when we surrender to a spiritual master, there is connection, yeah, between guru and disciples. So Krishna already instructed us how to approach a spiritual master in chapter 4. Yeah, Tadvidi Pranipatena, that verse, that we should not actually challenge the spiritual master. Rather, we have to put question in a submissive mood. Yeah, in submissive mood. It's not that right to challenge the spiritual master. Yeah, that's called the Guru Ninda. Yeah, Guru Aparad. Yeah. So these are the questions that asked by Arjuna. Yeah. And text number 2. Yeah, still Arjuna's question. Who is the Lord of sacrifice? Who is the Yageshwara? And how does he live in the body? O Madhusudana, and how can those engaged in devotional service know you at the time of death? Lord of sacrifice may refer to either Indra or Vishnu. Vishnu is the chief of the primal demigods, including Brahma and Shiva, and Indra is the chief of the administrative demigods. Both Indra and Vishnu are worshipped by yagya performances. But here Arjuna asks who is actually the Lord of yagya, sacrifice, and how the Lord is residing within the body of the living entity. Now the word Parayana Kali in this verse is very significant because whatever we do in life will be tested at the time of death. Arjuna is very anxious to know of those who are constantly engaged in Krishna consciousness. What should be their position at the final moment, at the time of death? All the bodily functions are disrupted and the mind is not in a proper condition. Yeah. So Yagya is Vara. In a glance, one may understand that Indra is the Yagyaswara. That's why Srila Prabhupada touched on this point. Yeah, because it is true that actually the demigods are being nourished through the performance of yagya. Yeah, through the performance of sacrifice. So offering the ahuti, the demigod gets nourishment. Yeah, but who is the actual yagya purusha, yagya ishwara? So Krishna, yeah, Bhaktaram Yagatapasam. Krishna mentioned that clearly in the end of chapter 5. Yeah, Krishna is the ultimate benefactor of the yagya or sacrifice. And seeing Arjuna's questions stating that how the Lord resides within one heart. So that's a clear indication actually that Krishna is asking about Lord Vishnu's position, Lord Krishna's position being the Yagya Ishvara. Yeah. And also about at the time of death, Prayana Kali. So the death, most of the lecture that we may heard in ISKCON, in this movement, talking mostly about death. Yeah, because death is for sure. Jatasyahi Dhruvam Dhruvam Janma Mritasya Cha. So in chapter 2, Krishna mentioned Jatasyahi Dhruvam Mrityu. Those who take birth, that is sure for them. And Dhruvam Janma Mritasya Cha. And if you don't attain liberation, those who die will take birth again. Yeah. So Dhruvam means for sure. Yes. So death is for sure. Yeah, that's why if somebody asks you, are you sure, Prabhu? Are you sure, Mataji? You can answer, as sure as death. That means guarantee. There's one man in Italy. This is a fact. There is one man in Italy. He was running a business of making the coffin. Yeah, coffin is when somebody dies, so they put inside this coffin. Yeah. So someone came to him and asked him, why are you running this business? He said that any other business may close at any time, but this business will run forever. That means everybody will die. He knows this fact, including himself. Yeah. And it is true that he said that somebody already booked their coffin, like in advance, some ones want to be put in a guitar forms of coffin. Yeah. So like this, some musician, they order the coffin in the form of huge guitar like this. So they want to be placed in the guitar before they are buried under the ground. So yes, this business will never close because death is for sure. Now, but what is the ultimate test? Yeah. What is the ultimate test? Your Bhakti Sastri exam is not the ultimate test. Yeah. But Ante Narayana Smritihi, that is the ultimate test. How we should be able to remember Lord Narayan at the time of death. Yeah. Anta kale chamam eva smaran muktva kale varam. Somehow or other, we must remember Krishna at the time of death. But that remembrance will not be easily pop up in our mind. Yes. We cannot say, oh, let me do whatever I want now. And at the time of death, I will remember Krishna. It's not like that, So Srila Prabhupada explained what we remember at the time of death is just like the film. What we perform the most while we are living in this material body, at the time of death, that remembrance will come automatically. Yeah. So Prabhupada gave the best example is like Ajamil. Yeah. Of course, he was already very old, and at the same time, he just have a small child. So luckily, he gave the name Narayan. So every day he used to call his son, come here, Narayan, please take bath, Narayan, please have this food, Narayan, like this, why are you crying, Narayan? So this is called Namabhasa. Yeah. And at the time of death, yeah, he's not even remembering Krishna, but he called his son. Yeah, this is called Namabhasa. But that not instant. That is not the end of the story. What happened after Ajamil being saved by the Vishnuduta? So his soul was put back into his material body. Yeah, he being put back into his material body, and then he get the realization, and then he went to Haridwar to perform austerity and devotional service, and then perfect his life. Sometimes we misunderstand that the story of Jaga and Madai, oh, Jaga and Madai got the shelter of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instantly, and they become pure devotee. No, that's not the end of the story. If we read Chaitanya Bhagavat, how actually Jaga and Madai, after that incident, after Madai struck the head of Lord Nityananda, and finally, of course, by the mercy of Nityananda Prabhu, they both get the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And what happened next? They sat on the banks of Ganga performing austerity and devotional service. Yeah. But still, because they are so cruel, the whole society would hate them. So anybody would see them even after that change. Yeah. After that change of their heart and mind, people used to throw some stone on them. But they became so tolerant. Yeah. They realized, okay, this is our karma. We did something bad to them. We burned their house. There is no sinful activities that they didn't perform. All kinds of sinful activities they have done in their lives. And then they just went to the bank of Ganga, chanting Hare Krishna, and live with whatever people give them. Yeah. So that's not the end of the story. Okay, they get the mercy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and they will dance happily. No, it's not like that. People still hate them. Yeah, people still hate them. But they get the realization. Yes, finally they perform the devotional service after some years, and then they go back home, back to God. So that's the thing. So remembering Krishna at the time of death is not easy. One must practice. Of course, if somehow or other by the Lord's mercy, by the Lord's grace, one can, get the perfection at that very moment. But in most of the cases, one must has undergo some kind of penance, some kinds of prayaschitta in devotional service. Yeah, Ajamila didn't get liberation instantly. Jaga and Madai didn't get liberation instantly, but they have to perform some devotional service for quite few years. And then they will be ready to remember Krishna nicely at the time of death. Yes. So this incident of Ajamila happened only in a special case. Don't think that we are as lucky as Ajamila. Why his story is being recorded in Srimad Bhagavatam? Because it's very rare. It's very rare incident. You know, why all these great demons recorded their pastimes in the pages of the Srimad Bhagavatam? Because they are so great. There are two qualifications that one must acquire in order to be recorded in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Either you become the greatest sinful man or the greatest devotee. Yeah, you must become a great demon, then your pastime will be recorded in the Bhagavatam. Or you must become really great devotee, then your pastime will become appeared in the pages of the Srimad Bhagavatam. Yeah. So these are the two things about Srimad Bhagavatam. Yeah. So basically here remembrance about the Lord. How to remember Krishna at the time of death. We need to practice from now. Yeah. Krishna answered Arjuna's question. Text number 3. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, the indestructible, transcendental living entity is called Brahman. So the Jiva is also Brahman. Yeah. Krishna is Para Brahman. We are the Anu Brahman. Yeah. We are the small Brahman. We are part of that original Brahman. Yeah. Huge Brahman. And his eternal nature is called Adhyatma, the self. Action pertaining to the development of material bodies of the living entities is called karma or fruitive activities. Yeah. Brahman is indestructible and eternally existing, and its constitution is not changed at any time. But beyond Brahman, there is Para Brahman. The constitutional position of the living entity is different from the position he takes in the material world. In material consciousness, his nature is to try to be the Lord of matter. But in spiritual consciousness, Krishna consciousness, his position is to serve the Supreme. When the living entity is in material consciousness, he has to take various bodies in the material world. That is called karma, or a varied creation of the force of material consciousness. Okay. So Brahman, meaning the self, the jiva. Yeah. Krishna is Para Brahman, and we are part and parcel of that Para Brahman, also Brahman. Yeah. The Adhyatma, the self, the Atma, the self. Yeah. The very nature of the self. And then karma, activities. But karma here is pertaining to the fruitive activities in which actually following the Vedic injunction. That is karma. Karma is different from vikarma. There is karma, akarma, and vikarma. Yeah. Sinful activities are vikarma. But karma is referred to those fruitive activities which are actually following the Vedic injunction. For example, demigod worships. Yeah, this is karma. Or digging wells for the society, planting trees. This is called karma. Yeah, this is good, pious activities. Okay, so that's the first 3 answers given by the Lord, seeing Arjuna's questions. Yeah. And then text number 4. O best of the embodied beings, the physical nature, which is constantly changing, is called Adibhuta, the material manifestation. The universal form of the Lord, which includes all the demigods, like those of sun and moon, is called Adidaiva, and I, the Supreme Lord, represented as the super soul in the heart of everybody, every embodied being, am called Adiyagya, the Lord of Sacrifice. Okay. Material bodies generally pass through 6 stages. They're born, they grow, they remain for some duration, they produce some byproducts, they dwindle, and then they vanish. This physical nature is called Adibhuta, the conception of the universal form of the Lord, the Supreme Lord, which includes all the demigods and their different planets, is called Adidaivata. The super soul is called the Paramatma or Adiyagya and is situated in the heart. Yeah. So thus Lord Krishna answered all the questions that Arjuna asked in text number 1 and 2. Yeah. So how the Lord situated in the heart? Of course, as Paramatma. Yeah. It is not that Krishna is being cut into different pieces. Yeah. When I was a child, I was thinking like how Krishna is within the heart of all living entities. And I was imagining that, okay, this Krishna is cut into small pieces and he entered into everybody's hearts. Yeah. But he remains in a complete whole. Purnamada, Purnam Eva, Purnam. Yeah, he is complete. Yeah, although there are so many complete units appear from his body, he remained complete. And that particle which is appearing from the complete whole is also complete. Yes. So how to understand this? Actually, this is the first verse of the Sri Sobanisad, not the first verse. Yeah, that is the invocation prayer. Purnamada Purnamidam Purna Purnam Udachyate Purnasya Purnam Adaya Purnam Eva Vasisyate. So sometimes it's confusing for many people, you know, this complete whole. There are so many complete units appear from his body, but yet he remains complete, and whatever he creates is also complete. For example, the material universes appear from the body of Karanodakasai Vishnu. Okay, so it doesn't mean that after when he breathes out, so he lost some part of his body. No, he remained complete. And all these universes that appeared from his body is also a complete unit. Srila Prabhupada explained, it's already in a package by which actually it can maintain itself. Krishna. It can maintain itself. Everything is already provided. That means complete. Yeah. So Srila Prabhupada gave the example like when we take millions of buckets of the ocean, do you think the shore of the ocean will go down? No. No, it's not. Yeah. And when there are thousands of rivers streaming, flowing, yeah, to the ocean will not get overflowed. It remains still in its position. So that's the understanding of complete. That's why Srila Prabhupada, I don't know whether you have heard this or not. Absolute means 1 + 1 equal to 1. 1 - 1 equal to 1. That is absolute. You heard this, right? Yeah, you may have read also. No, Rati Manjari Mataji? Never?
But it is nice, Prabhu, to hear now that we understand that
I think this,
one
yeah,
remains one and 1 - 1 remains 1.
yeah, that is absolute. Srila Prabhupada gave that example. Yes. So Krishna is the Adiyagya. He is the only person meant to be satisfied through the performance of yajna, because when he's satisfied, then all the part and parcel which are actually including demigods, they also will become satisfied. Yeah. Therefore, whatever we do, actually, devotional service meant to satisfy the Lord. Then the demigods also will become satisfied. Yeah. There was a pastimes of Sudama. Yeah. Sudama Vipra being a very poor Brahmana. So of course, he doesn't have proper stuff to be offered to the Lord. Yeah. Doesn't have proper food because he is very poor, you know. And then his wife complains to him. Yeah, this is not the pastime that he went to the to Dwaraka. No. So his wife complained to him, oh Swami, my husband, look at your kids. They are crying out of hunger. Please do something. And then he went to kitchen and then look into a jar where normally he keep the rice there. And he saw there is no rice, but somehow he found only one grain of rice. And then he said that, oh, what to do with this now? This will not be enough for these kids. And he thought, okay, whatever happened, happened. And then he just offered this one grain of rice in the front of the deity, of Lord Krishna's deity, And then Krishna, in the spiritual world, seeing this, and then through his energy, of course, he took this grain, he accepted, he ate, and Krishna birthed. Suddenly Krishna birthed. He said to Rukmini, oh, I'm very satisfied with this offering. Krishna birthed, and the whole heaven was full of birth. The demigods, they are birthing. Yeah, and all the rishis also birthing. And then suddenly their Sudama's kids stop crying. They're birthing. And they're full of energy now. Yeah, so that's the pastimes. Yeah, when Krishna is being satisfied. So all the demigods, all the rishis, all the living entities actually can be satisfied when Krishna is being satisfied. Yes, so he is the Adiyagya. Yeah. Okay, now here, very interesting here from text 5 to text number 8. Please pay attention, especially to Srila Prabhupada's purport. Yeah, this is about remembering Krishna, Smaran Muktva. Yeah, Smaran. This is about at the time of death. Yeah, because Arjuna was asking, how can we remember Krishna at the time of death? Yeah. Anta kale chamam eva smaran muktva kale varam. Yeah, prayati samad bhavam yati nastyatra asamsaya. And whoever at the end of his life quit his body remembering me alone at once attains my nature. Of this there is no doubt. Remembrance of Krishna is not possible for the impure soul who has not practiced Krishna consciousness in devotional service. Therefore, one should practice Krishna consciousness from the very beginning of life. If one wants to achieve success at the end of his life, the process of remembering Krishna is essential. Therefore, one should constantly, incessantly chant the Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Yeah. So how can we remember Krishna? Through constantly chanting Krishna's name, the holy name. Yeah, that's the only key. So therefore we are asked to chant minimum 16 rounds. I think I told you the story that one time one of Srila Prabhupada's disciple asked Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada, which one is better? Chanting 4 rounds daily but very attentively, or chanting 16 rounds but the quality is not so good? And Prabhupada said, chanting 16 rounds attentively. But still, it is much better to chant 16 rounds, although inattentively, rather than chanting 4 rounds very attentively. Yeah, because Prabhupada said, of course, seeing the quality, we should chant attentively. But Prabhupada said the more Mahamantra we chant, the better. Yeah, the better. Therefore, we have to chant constantly. Kirtanya Sadahari, that's our motto. Yeah. Hare Nama Eva Kevalam. We should chant constantly the holy name of the Lord. Then we can remember Krishna at the time of death. Yeah. It is proven actually. We experience this in our day-to-day life, in our daily life, because we are constantly chanting Hare Krishna. When we stumble, for example, when we walk, we kick something, and then we chant Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Yeah. When something almost fall on your head, immediately we say Hare Krishna. That means we are trained. It's a good training. It's a good training. Of course, Srila Prabhupada mentioned here, should be trained from the beginning of the life. Yeah, Kamaramacharya Pragyo. But not all of us born in the devotee family. Yeah, many of us join after 20, 30 years old. Yeah, but there is no word late in joining Krishna consciousness movement. I have one friend, one god brother, yeah, very senior. He joined Krishna consciousness movement when he was 80 years old. Yeah, when he was 80 years old. And he passed away last year. Okay, he passed away last year when he was 95, I think, 95 years old. So 15 years in Krishna consciousness. We see that he was joining like really late, but he was in a very fast track, faster than anybody I could see in my life, From the day he took initiation, he would chant 64 rounds every day. When he took initiation, so he was asked like, okay, so how many rounds you will chant? He said 64 rounds. And my Guru Maharaj said, no, Prabhu, you should not do this. You should promise only 16 rounds. And he said, no, Guru Maharaj, I can chant 64 rounds. But Maharaj said, no. When you take initiation, you should promise only 16 rounds. Okay, finally he promised to chant only 16 rounds. But every day he was chanting 64 rounds. He always, I know, one time I went to his house, he's from South India. I went to his house at 1:30. He already woke up and start chanting his rounds. Yes, start chanting his rounds attentively, no prajalpa. And wherever he was, like he always, whether he chants Hare Krishna or he recites some slokas from the Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam. Yeah. And then finally he passed away when he was 95. Yeah. I performed his Shraddha ceremony. And I was thinking like, okay, he was joining so late, but he was in a very fast track, faster than anybody I have seen in my life. Yeah. He was old, but his body is very fit. He could eat like 3 times rice in a day. Yes, he eats 3 times rice in a day. There is no problem in digestion. Yeah. So, yes, constant chanting of the holy name. This is the way how to remember Krishna. Yeah. Text number 6. Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam tyajatyante kalevaram tam tam evaid kauntaya sada tad bhava bhavitaha. Whatever state of being one remembers when he quit his body, O son of Kunti, that state he will attain without fail. Of course, one thoughts during the course of one's life accumulate to influence one's thought at the moment of death. Okay, this what Srila Prabhupada explained clearly. Yeah, So this life creates one's next life. If in one's present life one lives in the mode of goodness and always think of Krishna, it is possible for one to remember Krishna at the end of one's life. Therefore, chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare is the best process for successfully changing one's state of being at the times of one's life. Yeah. So this verse is clear. Yeah. Whatever we remember at the time of death, that will be our destination. Yeah. Of course, it is described that when a person already situated in the bhava level of bhakti, he will never fall down. But still, there is one incident, yeah, of Bharat Maharaj. It is described, yeah, in the 6th canto, Bharat Maharaj already on the level of bhava bhakti. But due to his small attachment to the baby deer that he saved in the forest, he gave up his kingdom. He gave up his family. He went to the forest to perform austerities. But there was a baby deer who was actually the mother was killed by a tiger. Yeah. So he saved this baby deer. And every day he was feeding this baby deer, taking care of this baby deer. And then at the time of death, instead of remembering Krishna, he was thinking, oh, alas, what will happen to this baby deer? Now I'm dying. Who will take care of this baby deer? And finally, in the next life, he becomes deer. Yeah. So whatever we remember at the time of death, for sure, that will be our destination. Yeah, for sure. Srila Prabhupada explained, just like we are buying plane ticket. So we are buying plane ticket. So now I'm buying the plane ticket to Delhi, for example. So I have the ticket in Delhi, that my flight will go to Delhi. So what will be our meditation? Okay, I have to see the board and listen the announcement carefully. Where is the gate that I should enter? Yeah, we keep checking the board. Yeah, which gate? Is it correct? This gate, sometimes there's some change, right? So our meditation will be Delhi, 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 because I booked my flight ticket to Delhi. And our destination will be Delhi. Yeah, so what we do, that will be our meditation, and that will be our destination. Yeah. So Prabhupada again mentioned about chanting of the holy names here. Text number 7. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu mam anusmara yudhya cha mayarpita mano budir mam evashyasya samsayaha. Mam anusmara yudhya cha. While fighting, remember me. Yeah, mam anusmara. Therefore, Arjuna, you should always think of me in the form of Krishna, and at the same time carry out your prescribed duty of fighting with your activities dedicated to me, and your mind and intelligence fix on me, you will attain me without doubt. The Lord does not say that one should give up his prescribed duties or engagement. One can continue them and at the same time think of Krishna by chanting Hare Krishna. This will free one from material contamination and engage the mind and intelligence in Krishna. Yeah, again, Srila Prabhupada mentioned here about chanting Hare Krishna. So the senses will be always active. Yeah. We are not encouraged to give up our prescribed duties, rather to dovetail that activities in the service of the Lord. And somehow rather, we have to remember Krishna in all the time. Like how Krishna instructed Arjuna here, Mam Anusmara Yudhyacha. Tasmat Sarveshu Kalisu, in all time, Mam Anusmara Yudhyacha. While you are fighting, remember me. How is it possible to remember Krishna in the middle of the battle? Why not? It is possible for a pure devotee. Yeah. And when one executes a service, yeah, it is described when one executes a service, even while doing that service, one cannot remember Krishna, but that service in itself is actually considered to be remembering Krishna. For example, yeah, you are given the service to do accounting for the temple. Yes. So while doing this account, calculating how much income, how much expenditure. So we are to absorb, in this accounting, and sometimes we cannot remember Krishna. So we are focusing on the numbers, how many rupees, how many rupees. But because this is in the service of the Lord, so that is considered to be as good as remembering Him. Otherwise, if we mess with the account, then we'll be trouble, right? Sometimes while cooking also, yeah, we have to, put certain amount of salt, certain amount of masala, we have to focus our mind on that cooking activities. Although sometimes we don't remember Krishna, but because we are cooking for Krishna, we have that consciousness that, yes, I'm making this and it should be offered to Krishna. So that in itself, absorption in the service is as good as remembering Krishna. Yeah. So another example also, like, for example, we are picking up some devotee, let's say like sannyasi or even our spiritual master in a car, So our spiritual master may sit next to us, but sometimes we don't talk all the time to the spiritual master because we are focusing on the road, right? It is not that we are forgetting that he's sitting next to us. No, but this is for his service. Yeah, we are focusing our attention. So that is considered to be as good as associating with him. Yeah, as good as remembering him. Yes. Mam anusmara yudhyacha. While fighting. Yes. So Arjuna is remembering Krishna because Arjuna is instructed by Krishna to fight. So carrying out the duty instructed by the Lord and being absorbed in that particular service, although sometimes we don't remember the Lord, but that's considered to be as good as remembering the Lord. Yeah, being absorbed in the service itself, as good as remembering the Lord. Okay. And text number 8. He who meditates on me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, his mind constantly engaged in remembering me, undeviated from the path. He, O Partha, is sure to reach me. One's memory of Krishna is revived by chanting the Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna. By this practice of chanting and hearing sound vibration of the Supreme Lord, one's ear, tongue, and minds are engaged. The devotee can constantly think of the object of worship, the Supreme Lord, in any of his features, Narayan, Krishna, Rama, etc., by chanting Hare Krishna. This practice will purify him at the end of his life. Due to his constant chanting, he will be transferred to the kingdom of God. Yeah. So now question for all of us here. What is common in Srila Prabhupada's purport from text 5 to 8? What we learn from Srila Prabhupada's purport?
Constantly chant Hare Krishna.
Yes, exactly. Why we need to constantly chant Hare Krishna? In order to, Ramesh Prabhu?
In order to remember Krishna. Prabhu.
Yes. As easy as that. That's the philosophy. If we put into practice, that will happen for sure. If we constantly chant Hare Krishna, we will constantly remember Krishna. Yes. Yeah. Vishnu Smarana. Yes, chanting Hare Krishna. So that is common in Srila Prabhupada's purport. Yeah. So one time in the beginning of our movement, of course, there are so many pros and cons about this Hare Krishna movement. Yeah. So in the newspaper, there was a news that this Hare Krishna movement is brainwasher. Yeah, brainwasher people. Yeah, we try to brainwash. We put some doctrine, to change people's life, this and that. And then this newspaper was brought to Srila Prabhupada by one of his disciples. And then he showed to Srila Prabhupada, Prabhupada, we got so many criticisms here. Look at this. And Srila Prabhupada read this news, this page. And Srila Prabhupada said, very good, very good. This is very good, because how many the word Hare Krishna is being mentioned in this newspaper? Yeah, Prabhupada said, very good. The more people read this news, it's purify them. Yeah, the more they read the word Hare Krishna, it's more benefited for them. Yeah, Prabhupada said, you no need to worry. This is very good. Yeah. So of course, like pure devotee like Srila Prabhupada would see the good side of anything and connect it to Krishna. Yes. Yeah, of course, we are expected to chant the holy names in the right mood. Yeah. Anya vilasita sunyam jnana karma dhyanamritam anukulyena Krishna anusilanam bhaktir uttama. So uttama bhakti, first class bhakti is anukul. There is anukul and there is pratikul. What are the difference? Anybody have heard this word? Anukul and pratikul?
Prabhu, Anukul is when it is favoring and in favor of, and Pratikul is when it's against.
Okay. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank
Yeah, you can raise your hands next time before contributing.
Sorry, Prabhu, sorry.
That's okay, because Sudamayi Mataji here raising her hands. Okay, it's answered, Mataji. So yes, Anukul. Anukul yena Krishna anusilanam bhaktiruttamam. So that is described by Srila Rupa Goswami. Yeah, we have to think about Krishna in a favorable way. Kamsa also thinking about Krishna. Yes, but the way of his thinking is practical. He wants to kill Krishna. Yeah, Hiranyakasipu is thinking about Krishna, about Vishnu, but he's thinking to kill Vishnu. Yeah. So, yes, of course, by the end of the day, by the end of the story, all these demons get liberation, right? Because they are anyway thinking about Krishna, but that's not favorable. That is not bhakti. Bhakti, as Rupa Goswami explained, anukulyena Krishna anusilanam. Yeah, thinking about Krishna in a favorable way, in a devotional mood. Yes. What happens if a devotee sees bananas? He will think about Krishna. How, oh, it's so nice. Maybe I can offer it to Krishna. If a devotee sees flowers, then he will think about Krishna. Oh, if I can offer this flower to Krishna, how nice it is. Yes. So one day Srila Prabhupada explained the same. If a devotee sees flowers, he will think about Krishna, how he can get these flowers and offer it to Krishna. If he sees some fruits, he will think about Krishna. And then suddenly Srila Prabhupada, while walking, with his disciples, there was one Bengali lady, a young lady with a thick black hair. And Prabhupada turned to his disciple and said that the Bengali ladies, they have very beautiful thick hair. And then his disciple said, yes, Prabhupada, Krishna has very thick black hair. Prabhupada said, no, I'm not talking about Krishna. I'm talking about this Bengali lady. She has very thick and black hair. So his disciple tried to link it to Krishna, saying that, yes, Prabhupada, Krishna has thick black hair. Yeah. Prabhupada just smiled. He understood the mood of his disciples because just few seconds ago, Prabhupada explained that, yeah, if a devotee sees fruits, he will think about Krishna. So, but Srila Prabhupada clearly mentioned, no, no, I'm not talking about Krishna. I'm talking about this Bengali lady who just passed. She has thick black hair. Yeah. So yes, constant chanting of the holy names. That's how we can remember Krishna. Yeah. And of course, as it is described in the 6th chapter. Yeah. Just a second. So constant chanting will lead us to constant remembering. Yeah. Sravana, Kirtana lead to Smarana. So that is the key. Okay. Okay, text number 9. One should meditate upon the Supreme Person as the one who knows everything, as he who is the oldest, who is the controller, who is smaller than the smallest, who is the maintainer of everything, who is beyond all material conception, who is inconceivable, who is always a person. He is luminous like the sun, and he is transcendental beyond this material nature. The process of thinking of the Supreme is mentioned in this verse. The foremost point is that he is not impersonal or void. One cannot meditate on something impersonal or void. Therefore, intelligent persons avoiding useless arguments and speculation should accept what is stated in the scriptures like the Vedas, Bhagavad Gita, and Srimad Bhagavatam, and follow the principles they set down. This will lead one to understanding. Okay, so it is clearly mentioned here that who is always a person. Yeah, this verse actually can be used to cut the arguments of the impersonalists. Yes, and actually, even the Mayavadi, in order to become perfect in their meditation, they are also meditating in some form. Yeah, like Ganesh, Shiva, Durga, Lakshmi, and Vishnu. These are the 5 forms that they use to meditate upon. Yeah, although their arguments is, yes, this form is helping us to achieve perfection in our meditation. Once we achieve perfection, then the topmost meditation that they will have is the impersonal aspect of Lord. But again, nobody can meditate upon a voidness. Have your mind really empty? No, it is impossible. How can the mind can be empty? It's impossible. Okay, let's say now you are all of you sitting in the class, and you may looking empty like this, but actually it's not empty. You are thinking of something else, so the mind cannot be empty. The mind cannot be think about something void. What is void according to your understanding? Sky? No, the sky has some form. Or you think about empty room? No, there is wall over there. So thinking, meditate upon voidness is actually a useless effort. You cannot do it. Nobody can do it. Yeah, as easy as that. Therefore, the impersonalists can never attain perfection because they never be able to meditate upon voidness. No, they will think of something. Okay, some light, yes, that light has some form. Maybe they will think about sun, maybe they will think about some bulb, electrical bulb. So Krishna stating here very clearly, who always has form. Yeah, because meditate means we focus our mind in some object. That is called meditation. Yeah, that is called meditation. There must be an object in which actually we are concentrating our mind. Otherwise, there's no point of sitting and closing your eyes. Even while sleeping, also your mind is not empty. You are dreaming. Everybody will dream. Sometimes you remember, sometimes you don't remember what you dream. But you must be dreaming because the mind will always work. Even when the gross body is sleeping, the mind is still working. Yes. So that's how it is. Yeah. Easy actually to defeat the impersonalism. Just challenge them that how can you meditate on voidness? Not possible. Yeah. Okay, up to this point, were there any questions about how to remember Krishna at the time of death? That's all of us already know now. Yeah. Or regarding Arjuna's question in the beginning. Yeah, it is clear. Okay. I think I would like to stop for now here. My friend is calling. It's a time for me to give him the insulin. And he stay a bit far from where I'm staying. All right, so we will resume the class on Sunday early morning. Yeah, okay. It's another weekly routine that we have every Sunday morning. We'll have our class at 5:30 to 7 o'clock. Yeah. Okay, thank you all very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.